He said, yeah.
And standing room only, too. No pressure. In all seriousness, I'm very nervous right now. Because Catherine meant a great deal, I think, to all of us. So I just want to do my best to get this right. My name is Joshua Albert Kirsh. My mother, Jacques, is Catherine's aunt by virtue of being Jefty's younger sister. For those of you who aren't paying attention, that makes me Cousin Josh. Catherine's family has asked that I give this eulogy today, not because they were at a loss for words. They had plenty to say about Catherine. Plenty. Naturally, I was honored and humbled to be asked by Uncle Jefty and Aunt Sandy, Mylika and Benjamin, to present this to her friends and family. I have experience in these matters. See, recently, unexpectedly, my turtle Oscar's life was taken. So that makes me the most qualified to present this today. Imagine Catherine's dismay to find out I was chosen to do this based on those credentials. I can see her now, standing here. I think you all can see her. I'll never forget that look that she had, that killer smile, that real cool attitude. Rad. Pardon me, Father, if you're still around, General Badass. But to top it off, she was loving, sweet, kind, caring, and altruistic. She was a sensational friend. She had this infectious, positive attitude about the future. I'm not going to pretend that she was infallible. She had her moments, as we all do, but she was optimistic with her recoveries. She was proud of who she was and what she'd become, recently posting pictures of weight loss and personal triumphs. She had turned a new corner in her life. This was like Catherine plus. She had persevered through and past personal obstacles, and she was getting the job done. A tremendous amount of that onus fell on you, Lily. Lily and Zion Turner, you did something for Catherine that we as a group hadn't. You made her an amorous mother. She loved you, and she was at her best with you. She was a natural. It has recently been admitted by her cousin and sisters that they often looked at their own parenting styles when they are, you know, that thing that mothers sometimes do, head spinning, smoke billowing, DEFCON 4. They admit now, and they say, I should really be more like calm, cool Catherine. She was a second mother to all the kids in the family, but she saved the best for that sweet little peanut of a daughter. Thank you, Lily, for making your mother's soul shine brighter. It's easy to put Catherine on a pedestal as a mother, but as an aunt, she also knocked it out of the park. She had a long history of taking her niece and nephews fishing with a Snoopy fishing pole. The thing is, there was only one Snoopy fishing pole and lots of kids. She took them out separately over the years. She was also known to host all-nighters of small herds of nephews that involved movies, candy, popcorn, and of course waking up the next morning a tangled heap of Aunt Catherine blankets and little boys down on the ground in front of the TV. She was definitely cool Aunt Catherine. Sometimes her niece, but mostly her nephews, would be returned to Mylika with fingernails and toenails painted in a nice shade of bright red. I mean, she painted India's nails. That's the dog, by the way. Did I mention how she got away with things like a pro? She was like the Teflon Don. As a little girl, she held court from Jefty's arms with threats of, "Throw you in the lake," referring to the pond behind the house. She was also Catherine with a C, who could simultaneously suck one thumb while reach around and rub her ear to the point of blisters with the other hand. That's dedication. Then Monica and Mila explained that somehow she was the baby of the family. She wouldn't have to lift a finger in any of the basic earn-your-keep type of chores. Trash cans being dragged up a hill, ironing clothes, doing dishes, dethatching the yard, power washing the house. Her siblings still hold this grudge today, and they get feisty talking about it even now. But to me, it sounds like she was just smarter than the three of them. More specifically, Aunt Sandy and Uncle Jefty, I'd like to hear more about this sweat camp work release program you have going on. And is it too early for me to start it in my house? It also might have been mentioned that Catherine was the only one who was brazen enough to employ a crack team of professionals to run surveillance and stake out the house. You know, to best address potential egress points for those cumbersome nights when the house was on lockdown. Many of you know firsthand of these nights. And if those nights could talk now, then you would know that Catherine brought the party. She brought the fun. She'll be remembered jamming out in the back of cars, dancing away in her boots, and regularly showing us how to love life. Recently, just a couple of months ago, a bunch of us were pulling an all-nighter at Jefty and Sandy's. Literally stayed up all night, passing the time with old stories. You know, the kinds of stuff that cousins and siblings talk about. Catherine had snuck off to sleep, but we wanted her, so we sent Ben to wake her up. You always wanted Catherine around. She was witty and sarcastic. She was fun and youthful. She was down to earth and real. Sometimes she told you stuff you didn't want to hear, but you needed to. She wasn't afraid to be blunt, and it made family dinners very exciting. She was the chick who pulled she was the chick who pulled Chinese fire drills on Interstate 65 while stuck in Chicago traffic. She'd call the kids and pretend to be the T-Rex from the Children's Museum. As a little girl, she's heralded as being the biggest tomboy by her older cousin Tiffany, who was envious of her access to boys' boxers. Apparently a commodity in the sleepwear department for young girls. I remember while she was in the hospital those weeks before Lily was born. I'd come visit her. I'd bring her silly bands, candy, and mags. I didn't think beer and smut would have been appropriate. She was pretty worn out from everything that was happening. The weight of it all was heavy. She was so excited about you, Lily. She'd pull herself together, put on a smile, and muster up the energy to get through it. And then you were born, and she put even more effort into being good to you. I know I, for one, was proud to say she was my friend and cousin. Lily, I promise to not let you forget her. You even look more like her now. You'll likely have that same sass that your mother had. You no less will beat to your own drum also. You'll certainly share her same beautiful spirit. These things we will all cherish in you as we did in her. We all take for granted that we think there will be another tomorrow. You know, you ignore that call and catch up with them later. There might not be a later. And I'm glad that we spoke just recently. We commonly would waste away an hour here or there, pondering life's mysteries. We'd share lessons with one another. She'd say very wonderful things about me, promptly causing me to try to be extra humble. She had that way about her. She was telling me how I'm going to be the best dad in the world. I mean, oh shucks, Catherine. This is our Catherine. Have I mentioned how kick-ass it was to have her as a friend? She was just that way. She was so confident in herself that she naturally put that out in others. Catherine would have no less quoted Billy Joel in regards to our current state of affairs. Only the good die young. I'd like to believe that when someone passes, they have some epiphany just before they die. Like they realize what the point of their life is. You know, a perfect moment. Everything is like nirvana. Everything clicks. And that's the whole point of life. Quickly, I don't want to forget to mention one last moment. Catherine apparently put on Aunt Sandy's wedding dress for fun recently. I'm told it fit her perfectly. Aunt Sandy and Uncle Jefty, look at all this love. And this isn't even a fraction of the lives that Catherine touched. You were correct, Aunt Sandy. When you were telling me she was a real neat and cool lady while describing your baby daughter, your grandkids probably would have said Aunt Catherine had swagger. I'd like you all to indulge me in just 1 second for just one thing. And take part in what I believe would be exactly what Catherine would want. Please smile. No, I mean smile like Catherine is watching smile. And I'm serious about what I'm going to ask you to do. With that smile on your face, please turn to the person next to you and hug them. I'm serious. Embrace. Always be good to one another. Treat every moment like it was special. Because that's what Catherine would want from each of us. Marching to Zion, as Catherine would say, later, Gator. The McKinney family would like to welcome guests following this. And I'd like to thank you all for honoring my cousin. Thank you.